Hello, welcome to episode 47 of Living Well Today. I'm Angela, your host, and I am streaming live to both Facebook as well as LinkedIn and YouTube. For those of you who are able to join and to do the meditation live with me today, welcome. For those of you who watch this on replay, I hope that you can find time to also cultivate the power of pause. And that is our topic today, the power of pause. And after I had a busy Labor Day weekend. There was lots of movement. There's lots of movement for lots of us right now, right? In many different ways, at work and at home. And so we're going to talk today about the power of that space that you create between the action and reaction, the power of the present moment, power of reflection. It's a pretty amazing time that we're living in. And I always say to my daughter, you never realize the scope of the moment, the scope of that time when you're in it. It's always in reflection that the clarity is greater. Part of today is cultivating a deeper clarity in the moment so we can revel in it more and fully appreciate it. So we're going to talk about this power of pause, what it stands for, and the P, the A, the U, the S, the E. So of course, yes, there's the word pause. There's momentarily stop, right, what you're doing. But I've created through a workplace well-being program that I've created called Choose Well, I've created this tool called pause, and it stands for something, and we're going to talk about that and unpack that a little bit for you so that wherever you are, whether it's a negotiation, whether you can sense a disagreement unraveling, whether you're starting to edge over into that feeling of anxiety or overwhelm, that you can come back to your breath and you can remind yourself of this acronym. And merely by walking yourself through the acronym, you're already doing it. You're already pausing, which is so wonderful. So we're talking about the power of pause and how we can reset, refresh, and realign. Realign with that space of centeredness and ease and well-being for living well today. And then we'll finish at the end with about a 5-minute or so meditation. Now, we've been having some decent storms here in northern Florida today. Shocker. If I lose power, technology, streaming, whatever, or if there are any streaming issues, just pop on out and pop back and I'll meet you there. The amazement of technology, right? It gives us so much, and yet sometimes can really cause us to pause. So I want to, before we dive in, I want to share a quote from someone who I've studied over the years, Mahatma Gandhi. And the quote is this: "There is more to life than increasing its speed." It's a profound wisdom. It sounds simple, but if you really reflect on it, it reminds us that we rush to do more. We rush to create more, to have more, to experience more. And that's a very natural human feeling. We are creators. We are co-creators. That's what we're here to do and to be and to have. All of those things are natural. So don't ever go into that place of shame or guilt of, oh, I know, I don't. Nah, there's no place for that. This is more about, okay, recognizing that the planets, that time, that everything is speeding up. But we can, in the midst of that chaos, unraveling chaos, we can stay centered and we can stay calm. And we do not have to be in this, what I call the fight, many do, fight or flight mode. Because we're going to talk about the implications of, and I've experienced it directly, while by no means am I dispensing medical advice. You always want to seek professional medical advice from your provider, certainly, but I can speak to it from personal experience. And I just had my annual panel done to show me, all my levels and where I'm at. And while my cortisol level is quite healthy, that's the stress hormone, my DHEA is slightly elevated. And DHEA is also an indicator of estrogen and testosterone and all of those things in your bloodstream, which I understand that because of where I'm at. I'm 56 years old. But it also can be a little bit of an indicator of adrenal, a little too much of adrenaline in my bloodstream. So I'm here to say, partially this episode today is for myself. Really, all of them are always in part to be a teacher for me first, and then for anyone who can relate to it, is to remember to pause. I've been creating Choose Well. I've been doing a lot of movement and considering different homes and doing different things, different business deals. And I know that I have been on more of a work overdrive as of late than I have been in quite some time. And really, this has been for the last year. I started developing all of the content for Choose Well, the workplace well-being content hub. I started developing all of that last September, really right when I started these episodes. It all kind of commenced at the same time. So you see the journey I'm on. I am on this journey with you. And so I'm hopeful that some of these things not only remind me and teach me and expand me as I talk about them and bring them outside of myself. I always envision that why I say co-creator is that God, the universe, the Holy Spirit are all working through me. They're working through all of us in partnership and co-creation. So as I speak it, as I create and co-create it, I'm also learning. And that's my hope for both myself and for all who take this in. So more to life than increasing its speed. Yeah, we rush to do more. And in doing so, often miss the deeper experience, the deeper meaning, reveling in it. Yeah. I did a post today on Facebook, in fact, my mother sent me a photograph of my daughter and niece of when they were very little. I'd never seen it before. And, as we go into a time of change of season, like we are right now, harvest time, harvesting, reaping the benefits of the seeds that we've sown. And my hope and blessing for today and for this season is that you are able to reap deeper meaning, richer meaning. Well-being is our new wealth. It is our new wealth. And for too long, wealth in the material form has maybe taken precedence. I know for many, many years it has for me. And I'm realizing as I go through these changes in my life, physically and spiritually, etc., and maybe you are too, that wealth is really through well-being. And well-being certainly in your wallet, yes, but also well-being in your body, well-being in your brain, your heart, your bloodstream, your cells. And that, please realize as we pause and reflect today, that we are entering a time of energy, a nuclear age in a positive way, as Carolyn Myss says. Study her a great deal, and I'm really tracking with what she's saying right now and talking about. And that everything we do within ourselves affects the whole, and that everything about the whole affects us. And so we can't control the whole, but we can control ourselves, and in doing so, impact the whole. Does that make sense? So everything you do today to deepen, to pause, to reflect, to better appreciate the moment, and to reset, refresh, and realign through pausing helps everyone else on some nuclear level, on some quantum level, helps them do the same. So, what does pause mean? Well, let's talk about it. Pause. The first is pause. P for pause. To simply stop. Stop the rush. Stop the wheel. It's very easy to get on that hamster wheel. I experienced that, this weekend in multiple ways. Very easy I'm not a gambler. I don't love gambling. I don't love casinos. I don't love the atmosphere, and frankly, even kind of um, what it can do to people. But I did go and try my hand at some good fortune this weekend, and I was very fortunate. Um, but I looked up at the clock. It was after midnight. I'm like, what? That's why they don't have any clocks in the casino. You get wrapped on that wheel and pulled in, pulled in. So to pause, to slow it down, to slow the rush, to take a breath. Close your eyes, to just pause, to take a moment. Give yourself the space, the breath, the space to reconnect with yourself. Feel your heartbeat. Put your hand over your heartbeat. Just putting your hand over your heartbeat and feeling your heart lines things up. Actually sends signals to your brain, which releases feeling good chemicals into your bloodstream. See, it's all connected, friends. It's all connected. I'm looking at my notes here. It's in this space of pause that you acknowledge you are here right now, alive, and moving towards well. The A is for assess. Assess. Take stock. Take a look at things. Feel what's going on in your body. I went to the chiropractor this morning. I visited some friends' family in Biloxi, Mississippi. Never been to that part of the world before. Beautiful drive. Went to this beautiful town called Ocean Springs, Mississippi. Right out of a storybook. And but that driving, and all the laughing and maybe the slots, the winning of the money, whatever it was, to kind of tightened me up. And sleeping in a hotel bed. I mean, sorry, I have a piece of fuzz or something in my lip gloss. Ooh, can't have that. But all that, so I went to chiropractor and I have a massage tomorrow. So that, by the way, if you ever do chiropractic, always combine it with massage, because otherwise your muscles that are tight just pull everything back out of alignment again. So you want to integrate those if you can. But take stock, feel what's going on in your body. What are you feeling emotionally right now? Are you sad? Are you worried? Are you happy? Where are you at on the scale? And you could be in different places with different things. With your work, you could be exhilarated and excited, eager and curious. With your relationships, you could be concerned, you could be tired, you could be whatever you are, but just kind of do a checklist. There's no judgment around. You're not making decisions or taking actions on any of this. You're just taking notice. You're assessing, becoming aware. Where does energy need to flow more easily and readily through your body and your heart? U is for untie. And by the way, as you untie this for yourself, again, there's an untying in different places in the people around you, your friends, your family, your clients, your patients, and the world. So untie after you've assessed, okay, so where am I tight? Where do I need to release something? Or where do I need to lighten up? Or not need to, but want to? Want to, that's better. Where do I want to breathe more light into? Make more space. Drop my shoulders, pull them back, stretch, right? Connect heaven and earth. My feet or ankles are tight. Let's move those around. My energy feels a little bit depressed. So let me stretch. Let me do a few deep breaths. Let me put on that music that brings me joy. Let me walk in nature. So untie. Slow it down in that moment. Life isn't a race, it's a journey. It's a slow journey. So that little town of Ocean Springs, if I had just blown through the town and rushed through it, I would have loved to have spent more time there, in fact. As it was, there was wonderful music, plants and flowers and a fountain and great people that we met and wonderful food and drink that we participated in, great conversation. And that all took place against that beautiful backdrop. And I can see it right now as I pause. And I can feel it, can hear it, I can taste it in my mind's eye and in my heart. So untie, find the sweet spot, right? Find that sweet spot. Free yourself from the things that bind you. Let that grudge go. Offer forgiveness, whatever and wherever you might be. But it will serve you. Untying whatever you're ratcheting up in this discussion with another person at work or whatever it might be, untying it breaks you from that bind, from that negative energy, lightens you up, frees your heart, frees your breath, frees your body. Slow it down. Through slowing it down, you get to savor. Yeah, that's what it is, savor. You get to savor the moment more. Like that picture of my daughter and my niece Callista. Thinking back to that time, I didn't see that picture before. I don't know that particular moment, but they spent so much time growing up together that I remember the interactions. I remember playing dress up in the makeup and the games and going to the carnivals and playing at the beach. I remember all that. Well, my quest, my journey now is to, when I'm in those moments, when I have the opportunity to see her, to talk with my daughter, to be in her space, to share space and time with her, to really be present, to put the phone down, as challenging as it may be, to don't answer the emails, don't take the texts, don't scroll on the social feeds, be there with her. Listen and just be there. Yeah. Appreciate. Slowing it down allows you to appreciate the beauty around you and allows you to appreciate that you're safe, that you're well, that you're centered. It's in this slowing down that you find your rhythm, that you find a flow that feels good, Yeah. And the E is for ease it up. So you have P for pause, A for assess, U for untie, release the knots, untie the situation, S for slow it all down, and E for ease it on up. And I always say ease it on up. We hear about ease up, upward. Take your vibration, take your energy, take your frequency, take your electromagnetic frequency that does indeed flow through your body, and take it up. Stretch, bring it up, think higher thoughts, more empowering thoughts. Life's meant to be lived with ease. It's not meant to be hard. People say life's hard. Mm. There are aspects of life that can be hard, external circumstances, but it's in the ownership of what is going on inside of us and the stories we're telling ourselves, the words we're using, that determine the framework of that for us and how we experience it as easy or hard. Easing up means simplifying. It means letting go of perfectionism. That's hard for me. So even then, I'm staying aware of what I'm saying. No, easing up and letting go of perfection is getting easier and easier for me, which is true. It is. You see the difference between saying what I just did. The idea is never about being perfect and living a perfect life without mistakes, or there isn't any such thing. The idea is, can you become more aware as you're doing it? Whatever you're doing or being, saying or thinking, can you become more aware? Because it's going to happen. You're going to get tight. You're going to think a negative thought. You're going to get caught up in the rush. But can you, closer and closer to that happening, become more and more aware faster? In a way that better serves you, to slow it down. Know when to put your foot on the gas and when to ease up. And there are times when you will need and want to put your foot on the gas. Yeah, you can go at 100 miles an hour when you need to. But to stay at 100 miles an hour, that's when the adrenals go into overdrive. So that's what we're going to talk about next. How can we move in and out of flow more easily and stay in flow as long as possible without going into that overdrive? Yeah. So let's talk about, if we can, for a moment, what happens. I just want to pull up my other notes here. When you are in overdrive, when your adrenals, your adrenaline, is always running, when you're always at 100 miles an hour, when you're always on the wheel, what's happening to the chemistry in your body? And this is the only one we've got. It has served me well and continues to serve me well, but I am the tender of it. I am the steward of it. Just me. And no matter the toxic soup that you have going on out there, no matter what your business partner does, or who stabs you in the back, or whatever goes on, right? And it's happened to us all. Those are external circumstances. You are at the wheel of your own response. Only you. So, and Carolyn Myss talks about this too. Heaven, the universe, God gives you your own dominion on taking care of this. It's up to you. And if you can hand it over to your higher self, to your soul, to your spirit, the spirit would take care of your body 100% of the time. But when we are on earth, when we descend here to earth, our human self, our ego self takes the wheel. And we hijack those natural processes, and we stand and get in our own way. And that's from what we put in our mouths to our actions, how much time we spend behind screens versus in nature, the thoughts that we think. That's all us. We can ask for divine partnership on that and support. We can ask our angels for our help, for their help. Please, I need your presence now in this. I can't do this on my own. but you have to ask for the help, and you have to show up to do the work yourself as well. It's a partnership, you see. So here are the effects: adrenal fatigue, chronic exposure to elevated adrenaline levels. They can have significant effects on your body and your brain. Chronic fatigue. Adrenal fatigue is persistent tiredness that doesn't seem to improve with rest. The body's ability to produce cortisol, we talked about that earlier, which is the stress hormone, it becomes impaired, and you're leading to a constant state of exhaustion, right? That can be from adrenal fatigue. You have a weakened immune system if you're in constant adrenal overdrive. So your immune system can be suppressed. Chronic stress and adrenal fatigue lower the production of immune cells and reduce the body's ability to fight off pathogens. Digestive issues. I've suffered from this. You all know this. So much better. So much better since I focus predominantly, I'm not perfect at it, but I predominantly focus on only sheep's milk based products or coconut milk. Yeah. So, and I'm much better with that. But meditation helps a great deal with digestion. Breathing helps a great deal with digestion. But prolonged stress exacerbates any conditions like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, any acid reflux, anything like that. It's highly related to stress. Weight gain or loss. Adrenal fatigue can lead to weight gain, particularly around the middle, and for us women into either pre or post-menopausal, or whether you're in it right now. All the hormones, all the things start shifting a good deal. Your chemistry is all tied together, and so menopause triggers lots of different things. And that middle can be exacerbated by the adrenal glands on overdrive. Sleep disturbances, high levels of adrenaline and cortisol in your body, they interfere with the body's natural ability to the sleep-wake cycle. Anyone relating to any of this? Hormonal imbalances. Of course, the adrenal glands are involved in the production of several hormones, including those that regulate your blood pressure and your blood sugar. Adrenal fatigue can lead to fluctuations in these levels, sometimes even dizziness, sugar cravings, mood swings, cardiovascular issues. Constant adrenaline stresses your heart. The heart rate and your blood pressure, no getting around it, and puts extra strain on your cardiovascular system. Over time, that increases your risks, heart disease, hypertension, other cardiovascular problems. Muscle weakness and pain. Adrenal fatigue can cause muscle aches, weakness, joint pain, partly due to inflammation and lack of proper muscle recovery. Your brain. So I have done some decent study as of late, especially. I got certified through Amen Clinics for understanding the impacts in your neuroscience and the impacts of stress and the impacts of different lifestyle and mindset on the brain. And the brain as your supercomputer, really invaluable supercomputer, and your gut, of course, as your second brain, as the next, and how the brain and your gut are connected. So effects on your brain from chronic stress and adrenal fatigue: brain fog, difficulty concentrating, memory problems, your ability to process and recall information could be diminished due to prolonged exposure to stress hormones, mood disorders, mood swings, irritability, anxiety, even depression, because the higher levels of adrenaline and cortisol in your bloodstream affect neurotransmitter balance. So your constant state of stress makes it difficult to experience joy or relaxation, because joy and relaxation come from those happy hormones, those things that your brain would otherwise naturally be continually releasing a steady stream of if you were in a state of alignment within your body and your brain. Increased anxiety, yeah, for sure. Makes your brain hyper alert. Can lead to, always feeling on the edge, mentally exhausted. Depression over time. The brain's response to chronic stress can contribute to depression. The depletion of neurotransmitters, as we spoke of, like serotonin and dopamine, they're linked to feelings of well-being. So this can lead to, if they're suppressed, that can lead certainly to a consistent, this low, more depressive mood and feeling overall. Burnout. I wrote a long article on this, burnout in the workplace, and how do you rebalance that. But the combination of physical, mental exhaustion can lead to burnout, which is a state of emotional, physical, just I've got to go to bed and sleep for days, kind of collapse. It can also look like lack of motivation, disengagement from your work and purpose in life, just an overall sense of loss of hope, loss of faith, loss of trust. It has an impact on all that. And certainly, last but not least, your reduced ability to handle stress. So it's almost like this self-fulfilling prophecy. You're not managing your stress by doing releases, by meditating, by moving your body, spending time in nature, breathing, becoming aware. You're not exercising those muscles of consciousness, of awareness. And so you ultimately, at the same time, are further reducing your natural ability to handle it in the first place. So you become less resilient. Even minor stresses can overwhelm you, can trigger you, and it perpetuates the cycle of adrenal stress and fatigue. So I want to say that bringing joy into your life and bringing greater ease and less stress, and I'm right there with you, friends. I mean, I'm going through much of this right now because of finding this new balance. Because here's the other game of it, the game of life, is as you elevate your awareness and you become more and more expanded in your awareness and consciousness, you're more sensitive and you notice things and you are more mindful of them. And if you don't balance that mindful awareness with actions that support it, you end up obsessing over the little things you're more aware of. Does that make sense? And because you're more sensitive to more things and more alert and more aware, you're taking more in, right? So that resilience, that inner compass needs that attention to be fortified and to be soft at the same time, to keep that softness, that soft ease and energy about you. So we're at 12:35 now, and I know I try to keep to 30 minutes. Let's work our way into our meditation right now so that you can do that, so that you can ease your way to softness, to your breath, to center, to reset, refresh, and realign. Okay, so wherever you are, maybe you're at a desk with your AirPods in, maybe you're at home, working from home, maybe you're sitting in your vehicle in a parking lot. Wherever you are, maybe you're a night worker and you're just waking up for the day. Wherever you're at, see if you can find enough quietness so that you can focus, on your breath. Find a comfortable position. If you're sitting there, great. If you want to lie down, great. But as best you can, try to keep your spine, rather than hunching over like this, try to keep your spine as straight. Now, it will take some back muscles and hip muscles to do this. And, go easy on yourself. That's not the most important thing. The most important thing is your breath and your presence in the moment and your attention to your breath. But if you can, and if you can, keep your spine lengthened, because your spine is kind of the super highway. That, along with your vagus nerve, is kind of the super highway for all of this energy to be drawn up through the earth and up through you to every cell, every muscle, everything within your body, up to your brain, your consciousness center, up through the top of your head, into heaven, to the skies, and connecting all of that. So the more you're hunched over or slouching, etc., you're not as open. You're not, you're putting rocks in the stream, if you will. So let's try to keep that as open and as clear as we can. Find a comfortable position and take a deep breath in through your nose and your mouth. Now, ideally, you can close your eyes, because that closing your eyes pulls everything in and helps you focus inward. In your mouth. Meditation's going to be maybe only about 5 minutes today. And I promise you, 5 minutes can make a big difference. Now, if you're new to meditation, as you're sitting there breathing, listen to my voice. Just keep breathing in and out. If you're new to meditation, it is totally natural. And even if you aren't new to it, that thoughts will pop in, especially if you've been going. They're not just going to disappear on you. That's natural. There's no guilt or slapping your wrist or anything like that. When a thought comes in, just let it come in. Think of it like a cloud. Just kind of, thank you for that. I'll come back to that. This is what you're saying to yourself inside as the thought comes in. Let it go, let it float on by. It'll be there when you get back. And just come back to the breath. If another thought comes in, acknowledge it, let it float on by, and come back to your breath. See how that works? It's very simple. Breathe in and breathe out. And if you can, try to take the breath deeper down into your belly, versus we tend to learn to breathe way up high in our chest and shoulders. It's okay if it has to be there, but just try to bring your attention, if you can, as you breathe, take it down low into your belly and let the belly and abdomen expand with each breath. Breathing. Now bring your attention to your heart. Imagine that there's a gentle light glowing, enveloping it. Gentle light around your heart. Take that breath in. Your heart is expanding and radiating this light. Breath, that light grows and grows and begins to extend throughout your body. Start forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself for being on the hamster wheel, for that argument this morning with your spouse or your child, for losing your temper at someone in traffic or in the grocery line. Breathe that light through your heart and let it radiate out. And that light is forgiveness. It's forgiveness for yourself, or the person who cut you off in traffic, who bumped in front of you in line. Just let it go. Breathe in. Now, shift your focus to your body. Where in your body does it feel tense? As you breathe, let that breath untie the knot, untie where it's tight. What is your body saying to you? Breathe it in and feel that breath circulate around your head, your forehead, behind your eyes, loosening the muscles along your jawline. Soften. Let your breath soften your jaw. Feel any tension or tightness in your throat. Sometimes if you have a hard time speaking up for yourself, or you do a lot of yelling, you're going to have extra tension in your throat and neck. Let the breath, let that go. As you breathe in, it's like you're sending the breath and the light to that place to tell it, I am easy, I am light, I am letting go. Bring your attention to your chest. Is there tightness there? Let it go. Your abdomen and down into your hips. We carry a lot of tension in our hips, particularly women. Breathe into that space and allow for expansion. Allow for the breath to move through there and let it go. Move your attention to the tops and backs of your thighs, your hamstrings. Is it tight there? Down around and behind your knees. Love your knees. They support you, they move you, they keep you flexible, they let you move forward in life, right along with your hips. Everything is tied together. Stand up on those knees. Now bring your attention to your calves. My calves are always tight. Let them release. If you do a lot of driving and a lot of sitting, from your hamstrings down through behind your knees, and your calves are going to be tight. Let the breath support them. Now down to your ankles and your feet. Two, move light through your toes and the bottom of your feet down to the earth, anchoring you, grounding you, supporting you. Do you feel and can you feel the support beneath your feet? Mother Earth supports you. We support you. You are supported. It is safe to pause, to take this time for yourself. The world will be there waiting for you when you get back. Feel the connection. Feel the connection through the bottom of your feet, through the light through your heart, the connection with your higher self, with heaven, with Mother Earth, with your family, your friends, your neighbors, colleagues and co-workers, your community. Feel the connection with your state, your region, your country, the world, the galaxy, the universe. This space we are. I am with ease. I am safe. I am at peace. I send love and ease and peace to myself, to all. This long breath, deep out, exhale. Feel easy. Wiggle your toes, hips, your abdomen, your chest, your arms. Wiggle your fingers and stretch to the heavens. Leave one hand above you and take your other hand and extend it down to the earth. Breathe in. We are connecting, mindfully connect heaven and earth. Bring your hands to center and now extend in the opposite direction. Breathing in, connecting heaven and earth. Exhale, bring your hands to center. You are even, you are balanced, you are aligned and refreshed. And then when you're ready, begin to open your eyes. It should look brighter, clearer. Day, namaste. So as you go throughout your day, the rest of your week, can you, rather than be in a reactive mode, rather than be in a constant hamster wheel and at 100-mile-an-hour clip, can you find the space and the love for yourself to pause, assess, recognize what's going on, untie it, breathe into that space, let it go, slow it all down, appreciate where you are, what's happening, appreciate your capability to be where you are, to be who you are, to simply be. And then ease it on up, friends. Lighten the load, lighten your burden, hand it over to Source, hand it over to Spirit, hand it over to God, whomever of the great masters and prophets that you follow and you love, hand it over to them, hand it over to your angels, and say, I cannot do this alone. I ask you for your presence here and your support. Amen. Thank you for joining me here in this time and space. I know your time is valuable, and your time stretched and expanded like this is even more valuable for the sake of you and for all of us. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Take them a moment if you can to share this, to comment, to send it to someone you think might need to pause and reflect and open up and lighten up and let go. And we'll see you next week on episode 48. God bless.